Yo, happy days to you all, Hell Let Loosers, coming in with another communication video off the back of our basics boot camp video that we just recorded. So we're going to go into a bit more depth on how to communicate effectively. Okay, so we've covered the importance of being in communication, whether it's text, undesirably, or desirably on comms, and you're active and you're enemy over there, I'm under fire, I've just been blown up, and you're pointing stuff out. Great, you're working together. Now, what we need to do, we need to refine that communication. We need to kind of make sure that when you see something, you're actually getting accurate call outs, directional, pinpointing, marking, and all that stuff that will allow your team to quicker target acquisition, there we go, there's the word, and for better combat effectiveness for defense or for offense. Now, there's a number of ways you can do this. First and foremost, the simplest way is using the compass is at the bottom of your screen. So at the bottom of your screen, you're going to have a general compass that has a number bearing and a compass direction of north, south, east, west, southwest, northeast, northwest, all them letters, and we should be quite familiar with them just as a life skill anyway. You'll see at the bottom of your screen is a persistent, it's always there, it is a compass, and wherever you're looking, it will tell you a bearing relative to your position. Now, there are two ways of doing this, and one's more accurate, the other one is obviously a rough bearing. Depending on what it is you're calling out, if you're seeing an airdrop fall down from the sky, and it's coming up, beyond the trees, and you're constantly moving, then maybe an estimated wider focus is the kind of way you'll go for it. So in this instance, it'll be like a southeast or a south or east southeast kind of bearing. That will give you a scope to focus on to be able to investigate. Now, if you then see a tank is over here and he's stationary, you're going to want to use the number that's on them, which is your directional bearing. So in this case, it'll be 180 bearing. And if you then want to then do what a lot of us would start doing once you start getting more comfortable with comms, it'll be like 180 bearing south. So you get double up the information for people, so that even if people aren't looking from your perspective, they're not going to see it at 180 for them. But they will see it if they're going to look, they're going to get a better idea if they're looking south of the map, right? And it works vice versa. So the more information, the better, and those are the quicker ways to get the information. Goddamn brain work. Cool. So that's it for quicker. That's on the fly. That's on your screen. You can still do stuff. You're still moving on. You're still firing. It's on the now the on the map is where then you can start getting a little bit more in detail. So on the map, we all know that we can right click and we can place markers. Now, if you're a regular infantry guy, if you're anything but a squad lead, whatever you put on the map, only your squad will see, right? Whatever you put, only your squad will see. Whatever your squad lead puts, you and your entire team can see. So that's already going to be a difference. Just because you called it out verbally, the marks you put down ain't going to be seen by everyone else, especially even if you were the only one to put marks down. So to be able to get on top and keep requesting your squad lead to put the pings down for you, or to double up your ping, is very important, because it then creates a lot of team cohesion. So now that's all well and good, and this is kind of the benefit you get to this is if you ping on a map, bearing in mind, I'm up top here in HQ, I know that if I ping here on the map, come away from the map, I know what the range is. It gives me a range, okay? So this is great for artillery players. This is great for getting a bearing if you're planning an advance. Say if you're in a tank, if you're looking at doing a flank, that's also quite useful. Or say if you know that an airdrop has gone here, you can ping in real life anyway, but if you want to ping behind it, you can kind of get onto the map, ping here, and you can get a better range beyond it. Okay, so there's loads of variation. Some of you might see this and go, what are you on about? That's so awkward. I try and give all of the nuances that you can do with this to cover every eventuality, because trust me, what I'm going through, I've practiced and I've put into use at one point or another during my many hours in the game, some more than most, obviously. Now, this is where it's going to start getting a lot more in depth. Once you start getting very fluent with the game, once you start getting very confident calling out positions, once you start getting very, very known amongst your team as being a team player and an effective squad leader or a commander, what you'll then start using is you'll start then using numpad callouts. Okay, now for those of you who've never come across this before, or kind of new to the milsim style games, it's all about effectively calling out a grid square without the need of a ping, right? Which is very hard to pull off, but it's very effective if the map's cluttered, or if you're dead, or if you're in a loading screen, or if you're in a position where you just can't ping the map. And you do this by just simply looking at the map. Now we can see all the squares form up all the squids. So all the squids, all the grids of the map. So we got, E2 is for this one. Gulf 4 is for this square. Now, if you wanted to call out a specific area within said square, say you stumbled across a garrison and you've just been murdered before you can get rid of it, you know where that is. Now, if you zoom in, you'll start to see that you get these 9 black squares within the white square that you see further out. You see that? There we go. And then if we zoom in, there we go, then we get the 9. Now, this is where your numpad comes into place. Ignoring the 0, because obviously that's at the bottom, you've then got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be the allocation for the numpad. And I'm just double checking. You'll see me slide eyeing because I was just making sure that my keyboard was backing up my brain's configuration of a numpad. So your call out would be something along the lines of in grid square Foxtrot 4, numpad 8, enemy garrison in the middle of the field. Yeah, that would be what it would be. Or you could go Echo 3 it'll be grid square numpad 3, behind the barn or next to the barn, behind the building. But you can see how you're starting to adding all these extra bits of information, because the longer it takes your team, your squad leads, and the commander to translate what you're trying to communicate, the longer it's going to take for the defense or the offense to take place, which often decides whether you lose or capture a point, or whether you lose or defend, or whether you win or lose a flank. It's all of this, because it's a massive tug of war, and every eventuality you want to be as effective as we always can be. So we've gone from basic communications, so we know how to communicate. Now we're now starting to understand all of the different ways that we can use, we can point out. And, you can start developing your own way for it. There's some things you probably would never use, some things that you might always use. I would fully encourage you to experiment with them all and find out what works for you best. Because as long as you're given the information accurately and as detailed as you can, in the most effective way that works for your brain, then you're going to become so much more effective regardless of any gunfight that you may be involved with. You start doing anything that you disagree with or feel like you're cumbersome with or don't understand, you're automatically picking yourself at a disadvantage. So this is not me telling you you must. This is me telling me that you should. And if you could, you'll be loved for it. And you'll be saluted on or off the battlefield. So on that note, please refer to it. Any questions you've got, come down into the comments and I'll try and maybe refine some of my information. Maybe I've gone a bit too quick or a bit too vague on some stuff. But you'll you'll see the compound difference. You'll see it get better. So get on the battlefield, start practicing these, start doing your orienteering practice, because I remember that. I remember that training very well, and I'll see you guys on the front lines. Take it easy. Bye-bye.